Hello everyone. Tonight I'm going to be putting together a video on tying my Stimicator. Stimicator is a fly that I came up with years ago to work as mostly an indicator. So I use this in my dry dropper setup. Been using it for, I don't know, maybe 12 years. And anytime you see me fish a dry dropper, I've normally got this up at the top. So the Stimicator works extremely well. It's very easy to see it. It'll hold up 2 heavy tungsten nymphs with no problem. When I get on the water, I normally put a little bit of gink on it, and I don't have to touch it the rest of the day. So it's been a great fly for me, and maybe y'all can try it and you'll have the same success that I've had. And it catches a lot of fish as well. So I'm using a size 8 stonefly or a curved shank hook, and I just put down a thread base, and I'm going to put in the tail. And for the tail, I'm using regular elk hair, body hair, and I just cut a clump off, try to get all the under fur out from it. I like to use a comb just to try to get all of that out of there. And then I'm going to stack it. And so after stacking, you can see the hairs are pretty even. Going to tie it in and just kind of do loose wraps moving forward. I don't want to cause all the hair to spread out. I want to try to keep it to where I can have a nice, clean, tight body on it. So loose wraps going towards the hook eye, and then when you start going back towards the actual tail, start tightening it. Now you'll want to just trim the hair. After you get the hair trimmed, put some more thread going back. And on this fly, on the body, you'll be tying in a dry fly hackle. You can use whatever color you want. I like to cut the barbules on both sides, and it kind of gives you a comb, and then I tie in there, and that just seems to help keep it anchored and keep it from pulling out. So get that good and tied in. And then for the body, you can use foam, you can use whatever you want. I like to use superfine dubbing, and I'm going with olive tonight. And I'm very generous on the amount of dubbing I put on this fly. So normally with dubbing, a little is a lot, but on this fly, I want quite a bit because I want the dry fly hackle to sink down into the dubbing and get it good and anchored. So put a generous amount of dubbing on and just start coming forward and making a little bit of a taper from back to front. And then I like to do just a little half hitch. And then start wrapping your hackle. And on this, I like to put quite a bit of hackle because I want it to float real well. So I'm going almost touching with each wrap. And then once you get to the front, just wrap a couple times to anchor that, and then just trim that hackle. And you want to leave enough room up here so that you can put the wing in and then the styrofoam ball at the end. So now I'm ready to put the wing in. I'm going to do another half hitch just so I can make sure that hackle is good and anchored down. You don't want it unraveling on you. Then I'm going to grab another clump of elk hair. Get the underfur out. And then stack it. And now you've got nice even clump for your wing. And I like for the wing to be about the same length as the end of the tail. So start wrapping that and putting a little more tension on it and hold it. Otherwise it's going to want to roll around the hook. And then I'll start working my way forward a little bit. And I'm going to do a whip finish. And then I'll just trim that hair. Alright, so I've got that hair around the head trimmed. Put it back in the vise. And now I'm just going to basically just put down a thread base. And you want to try to taper it from the hook eye back. All right, and then for the head, I use these styrofoam balls. I think Lightning Strike makes them. The ones that I got came from China because I found them a lot cheaper. And you're going to want to take you a pair of scissors and stick it in and just start spinning the styrofoam ball around. What that does is it hollows out the inside and it gives it a taper because you're going from the point to the thicker part of the blade. And then that taper will match up with the taper that you made on the head. And let's check it. You want to make it where it's good and tight, but you've got the hook eye has come out of it. So that's about perfect. So I'll take that off. Then I'll just do a whip finish. And then I will take some Zap-A-Gap and put a good coating on both top and bottom, because that's what's going to hold the styrofoam ball on. And then just take the ball and slide it on. Ensure that your hook eye is through the end. And there is your Stimicator. So again, this fly will float, very easy to see. The fish still see it as a bug and they'll come up and hit it. Normally I'll catch, on a good day of dry dropper fishing, I'll catch at least 4 or 5 on this fly. And the way it came about, again, was a buddy of mine was fishing a thingamabobber one day and had a fish come up and hit it 4 times in a row. And I just got to thinking, dang, if he had a hook in there, he'd be catching fish right now. So when I got home, I just kind of combined the stimulator fly with this lightning strike indicator, and it's been a great fly for me. So give it a shot, and hopefully you'll have good success with it as well. And we'll see you on the river.